WWE isn't just about finishing moves and championship belts. It's also a place where egos get crushed, reputations get dragged, and superstars get verbally destroyed on live television. Some insults are scripted, sure, but others? They cut way deeper. In this video, we're looking at 7 WWE wrestlers who were publicly insulted in front of the entire crowd. Moments that left fans gasping and even their own colleagues stunned. If you're new here and love WWE moments like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. At number 7, Roman Reigns. In 2017, during the build-up to their highly anticipated No Mercy showdown, Roman Reigns entered the ring expecting another verbal back and forth. But across from him stood John Cena, a seasoned mic assassin with years of crowd control and promo destruction under his belt. What began as a typical promo turned into one of the most brutal mic burials in WWE history. John Cena didn't just attack Roman Reigns' character, he shredded his entire identity. Cena called Roman a cheap John Cena bootleg, suggesting Roman was nothing more than a corporate clone without the actual skills to lead. Then came the now infamous line. Cena claimed he was still there because Roman couldn't do his job. And right as Roman tried to hit back, silence. He froze. Forgotten lines, blank stare, dead air. Cena didn't miss a beat. He laughed it off, looked Roman dead in the eye, and told him it was called a promo, and that if Roman was going to be the big dog, he'd better learn how to deliver one. The crowd went insane. Roman looked like a deer in headlights. Even though he eventually found his footing, the damage was already done. Cena had carved him up in front of millions, and Roman never truly lived that down. At number 6, Triple H and Vince McMahon. On June 27, 2011, CM Punk grabbed a mic, sat down at the top of the ramp, and unleashed one of the most nuclear promos in WWE history. It wasn't planned fluff, it was venom. CM Punk didn't just take aim at Vince McMahon, he burned the entire machine down. Punk ripped into WWE's obsession with part-timers, calling Vince a millionaire who should be a billionaire, held back by his out-of-touch ego and inability to evolve. He dragged Triple H into the fire, stating that the company wouldn't improve after Vince's death, because it would be taken over by his idiotic daughter and doofus son-in-law. Punk added that Triple H had married into power and portrayed himself as the King of Kings, a line that struck with brutal honesty. The camera faded to black while Punk was still mid-rant, because even WWE knew this was beyond the script. Punk blurred the lines between truth and character so well, even The Office wasn't sure what hit them. It wasn't just a promo, it was a televised rebellion. At number 5, Daniel Bryan. In 2016, WWE's Talking Smack turned from a simple post-show into a verbal war zone when The Miz was pushed one step too far. Daniel Bryan, sidelined due to injury, called The Miz a coward, accusing him of hiding behind a soft in-ring style and never taking risks. But The Miz didn't flinch. He exploded. With red-hot fury, he fired back that Daniel Bryan should be grateful The Miz could still wrestle, unlike him. He challenged Daniel Bryan's love for wrestling and questioned why he didn't leave and wrestle in smaller venues with his indie friends if he hated WWE's style so much. Daniel Bryan stood frozen. The show's casual atmosphere dissolved into raw tension. Miz's face turned crimson, his voice shaking from pure rage, but his points were piercingly sharp. For once, the pretty boy heel wasn't being cute. He was speaking with scars. And the silence Daniel Bryan responded with? That was the sound of defeat. At number 4, Ryback. In 2013, Ryback was still clinging to the remnants of his main event push. Enter Paul Heyman, master manipulator and promo god, who turned on Ryback with such surgical savagery that it felt like a eulogy. Heyman stepped into the ring and declared Ryback to be the single biggest disappointment he had ever managed. He ridiculed Ryback's lack of personality, buried his mic skills, and described him as a mindless brute who cracked under pressure when the lights got too bright. But what stung more was Heyman's calm, deliberate tone. This wasn't some shouting match. This was a calculated takedown. Fans in the arena and at home had already seen Ryback fumble opportunities. Heyman just said what everyone else was thinking. And with every sentence, Ryback's reputation crumbled until there was nothing left but awkward silence and broken momentum. At number 3, Kofi Kingston. In 2010, during a match that went slightly off script, Randy Orton exposed a side of WWE rarely seen by fans: unfiltered, real-time humiliation. Kofi Kingston botched a sequence, and Randy Orton, instead of moving on, snapped. The fallout was silent but deadly. Kofi's main event push began to stall. The timing wasn't coincidental. Rumors flew that Orton used his backstage pull to slow Kofi down, and while no one confirmed it, the insult had already done the job. Kofi, who had been riding a wave of momentum, suddenly found himself back in the mid-card shadows. One misstep, one humiliating moment, and years of grinding were set back in seconds. At number 2, Brie Bella. In 2014, amidst one of the most dramatic storylines involving the Authority, Stephanie McMahon stepped into the spotlight and verbally dismembered Brie Bella in front of a roaring crowd. Stephanie didn't come with catchphrases or gimmicks. She came with razor-sharp insults and devastating truths. She claimed Brie was irrelevant without Bryan, mocked her for constantly playing second fiddle to Nikki, and accused her of being a parasite, riding her husband's success to stay on TV. Stephanie added that Brie quit because she couldn't handle the spotlight without Daniel and didn't truly love WWE, only the attention it brought. The crowd gasped. Brie stood there, eyes burning, but powerless. Stephanie's delivery wasn't loud. It was cold and commanding. The kind of tone that doesn't just hurt feelings, it burns through pride. At number 1, Matt Hardy. WWE blurred reality and fiction to uncomfortable levels during the infamous Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita triangle. But Edge used it to deliver one of the most ruthless on-air burials ever seen. After Lita left Matt Hardy in real life and began dating Edge, WWE took the real-world betrayal and brought it on screen. And Edge didn't hold back. On live TV, he told the audience that he had taken Matt's girl, taken his spot, and was better in every way. Matt tried to retaliate, but Edge, oozing smugness and confidence, always had the upper hand. He continued reminding fans that while Matt was venting online, he was main eventing and moving forward with Lita. The entire feud felt real, because it was. Edge twisted the knife with every sentence, turning personal pain into career momentum, while Matt Hardy was left trying to rebuild from the ashes of a very public humiliation. These weren't just ordinary segments or routine promos. These were moments that exposed cracks in characters, pushed boundaries, and reminded everyone watching that words can be just as powerful as any finishing move. Some of these insults were calculated and cold, others were heated and spontaneous, but every single one left the audience holding their breath. In the middle of a packed arena, with cameras rolling and eyes glued to the screen, reputations crumbled and real emotions took over.